We have covered routing and rendering segment, but we missed two topics in routing, that is parallel route and another one is intercepting route, so which we will discuss later in this tutorial. Now we are moving forward to data fetching segment, data fetching section, that is we can fetch data. So we can fetch data in Nest.js in client side and server side. We can use the default fetch method to fetch data. Also we can use any third-party libraries to fetch data. So first see the default fetch method in server side. So we need to create a function, so that is async function. So I create a function called get data, and inside the function we can fetch. So I created a server, so which will give this data as response. So the server is running in 8080 and our Nest.js is running in 3000. So we need to use this URL, that is http localhost 8080. So and we can get our data here. I just console here. So now we need to call our function. So we need to use async. So now we can get our data. When I refresh the page, oh, some error happened. Yes, oh, we need to use return response.json. Now it's solved. So now we can get our data. So this is the data I am using here. So this fetch is extended by Nest.js. So this fetch is cached and memoized. So when I again request, the same data will be returned. So for example, I change the data and save it, and again I refresh the page. Now you can see the same data is dot, because this data is saved in data cache. So if I use this, if I fetch the same URL anywhere in our application, I again take the same data. So how can we customize? Means we can use cache here and force cache, which is the default one. So we don't need to use this. So what else we can use? Means we can use no store. So this will not catch our fetch. So you can see our new data. So I again change some values here. So I just refresh and you can see the new data here. So this is fetch happens. So now we see how to revalidate our cache. So we can revalidate our cache using time-based revalidation and on-demand revalidation. So let's see one by one. Time-based revalidation, how to do means we need to pass a Nest object, and inside we need to use revalidate 60. So this is 60 seconds revalidation. So I just give 5. So after 5 seconds the fetch will be refreshed again. So let's see. So now we have this data. So I just change the data to 111 222 333. Then again I refresh. Now we get new data. So we are getting, yes, we are not getting the new data. So if I after 5 seconds I refresh, I am getting the new data. So why this happens? So you can see I change the data back to 3 2 1 So if I refresh, I again getting the same data, but after 5 seconds, now 5 seconds happened, so I refresh to only after 5 seconds, so but I am getting the same data. So now I again refresh, I get new data. So you need to understand that we are refreshing twice, because this time based revalidation will happen when we refresh before 5 second, previous data will come. So when we refresh after 5 second, then again previous data only come, but in background the new data is fetched and ready to serve. Again we refresh, we get new data. So you can see clearly in catching documentation and in time based, you can see here. So you can see in this diagram, so the fetch is 60 second revalidate. So now we get the data from data source and we are setting the data. Now less than 60 second we again call the fetch. Now we get the data from the catch. So now more than 60 second, now we again call the fetch. Now we are getting the same data, that is stale data. So now after now after 60 seconds we are getting the same data, but on the same we are also revalidating the data. So now revalidation happened and we are eating the data. Now again we fetch means we get the new data. So we need to refresh our page twice, then only we can get the new data at the second attempt. So this is how time based revalidation works. So on the other side we have a on demand revalidation. So in time based revalidation, if we have multiple fetch, then we have multiple revalidate, means in static rendering route, then the revalidate time as lowest one will be used for all fetch, but in the dynamic route the individual revalidate time is used. We can also use segment config to config our fetch time. So export thons revalidate, the segment config we will discuss later in this tutorial. So if you use like this, then all fetch inside this route will have the same revalidate, that is 10 second. So now let us move on to on demand revalidation. So on demand revalidation can be done by tag and path. So first let us see tag. So we need to use next, and inside we need to use tags, and inside we have tag, whatever tag we can use, data, correction, like this. So this is tag. So this on demand revalidation will be fast, because if we get it by the, if we revalidate this tag, then immediately we get our data. So how to revalidate means, we can revalidate anywhere in our application, like in server action. We will see later about server action. We can also revalidate in route handler. So how to revalidate means, we need to import revalidate tag from nest/catch. Then we can revalidate our tag here, like this, data. So when this happens, revalidation again immediately happened. So we can also see example in this image. So you can see they are using the tags. So now first time the fetch happens and data from data source and it is set. Now we are revalidating the tag, and this purge will revalidate our data. So again we are fetching, means we again fetch from data source and we give the new data. So this is revalidation happens. So we don't need to refresh twice. So when we visit once, then new data will be dot. So another one is we have revalidate path. So revalidate path appends means we don't need to pass any next object here. So how revalidate path happens means, so we need to again import, right, revalidate tag, import revalidate path from next slash catch. So how this works means it has two parameter, that is path and type. So the type is optional. We have page type and layout type. So for example, we revalidate tag, revalidate path, and we can use the path here, right, slash user slash 123. So this path will be revalidated. So this path fetch will be revalidated. So this is one method. So another one is using page. So for example, revalidate path. So now I am using the page. So user slash id dynamic one this is, and in the second parameter we need to use page. So this will revalidate the page under the route. So this will not revalidate pages behind this route. For example, this will revalidate slash user slash id, but it will not revalidate slash user slash id slash 1. So this will not revalidate routes under this route. So this will revalidate only this particular route of particular route page. So this is page appends, page words. So the next one is layout. So the layout is opposite to page. So again we are giving user slash id. Now we pass the second parameter as layout. Now this will validate this route also, and this will also validate the routes under this route. So like this will validate user slash id slash id slash name like this. So this will validate like any route under this. So this is layout will work. This is the difference between layout and page. So we can use like this to validate all our pages. So we need to use slash and we need to use layout. So this will validate all our pages because layout will validate all the things. So when we use slash, this will validate all our pages. So this is revalidate path and revalidate tag. So now how to cancel our catch. So how to opt out our catch means, we can go to the documentation and we can see. So we can see here, so where it is. So yes, we can see here. Yeah, so these things we can do to cancel our catch. So we can use catch no store for individual fetch to cancel our catch, or we can use revalidate 0 to cancel our catch, or we can use fetch request inside route handler that use post method, or if you use header or cookies, then by default it is dynamic route and there will be no catch. So we are seeing in this rendering section. So or we can use our segment config methods, config options to make force dynamic, then it will be dynamic and no catch will be stored. So segment config we will see later in this tutorial. Also the fetch catch in segment config we can use to skip our fetch by default. We can use to skip catch to skip catch of fetch by default when we config the fetch catch. When we are using authentication or cookies, then it will be dynamic and there will be no catch. So this is to opt out catching. So how to fetch data in client side means, we can use route handler to fetch data in client side. So we already seen this. So I create a route called data inside API, and inside I create a route.js. So inside we need to use function export async function get. So now we can fetch our data here. Fetch await fetch data with response dot json. So now the fetch URL is, we already know, http host 8080. Now we can return our response. Next, response dot json data. So now we need to fetch this route handler in our front end, that is we need to use client. So inside use client we need to use effect. So this is basic data fetching. We already see, if we know about React. So we need to use a function and inside the function we are just using this, but the URL is /API/data, because we are using route handler and we are calling the fetch data function. That is, so now we can see in our client side the data will be console logged. Shows error. Oh, we need to remove this async. Now we can see our data. Again it shows here API/data. Let's check. API/data. Oh, it is not working, so let's figure out. Oh, I have created the data inside user, so we need to move this to under API. So now we have our data here. So now it is working correctly. Yes, we get our data. So we get our data. So this is about client side. So what happens if you are not using use router, means we can directly fetch. So this is normal fetch, React fetch, like we already used it in React fetch. Router host 8080. So this is React fetch. Oh, router 8080. Oh, we need to use thals here, then only we can fetch our data. I am not using thals, so it will show thal error. So that is not a problem. So we can use import and use thals, and this problem is solved. So when we directly fetch any API inside our use client, like we do in React, then the thing we use like revalidate, that are not possible, because these are possible on server. So then only Nest.js extends fetch. So this is normal fetch. So if we do this, means then our fetch will execute each time our component rendered. So that is the difference. So we have seen fetch on server and fetch on client using React, client using route handler, and also we have seen normal fetch like we done in React. So and the two methods remaining is third party library. So what this means we can use third parties to on server to fetch data, like they are using the catch from React. So they are warping the function inside catch, and they are using the db method and doing some operation. So when they call the get item many times, but only one request will be sent because they are warping in catch. So this is server side using third party, and also client side the third party we can use. There are many libraries there, that is React Query and SWR. So these libraries have their own memorization and revalidating catching mechanisms. So that's all about data fetching.